Good morning. How was your greeting to self today? My greeting to self was fabulous. I woke up, I had a great morning, got going, and all of that. And then when I started at 8 o'clock to do it, to go live, there was problems. So I said, the phone was recharged, the phone, I turn it off, turn it back on. And then I remember a year ago, if this happened to me, I would have gone completely crazy. I would have been so disappointed. But you know what caused me not to be like that? Brendan Burchard. When Brendan Burchard was doing something one day, I noticed his whole system crash. And the man stayed focused. He did not let the system that crashed. He just kept talking, saying, well, that's what it is. That's how it's going. So today, what Instagram is telling me, they have problems. Getting me on. I'm looking, Wi-Fi is way up here. Finally, they got it going. But Instagram, I said, you know what? I'll just keep trying. You must give up. Instagram, you have to give up. Remember yesterday's blessing? Well, I had to use it today. Which is, you know what? If you believe, God will just have no choice but give you what you desire. If you believe the universe, right? Remember that? Okay. Well, that's what I did. I said, I'm going to continue. We'll stand there until you're ready. And somebody will know I'm on and they'll come on. So I wanted to let you know that today your blessing is fear, F-E-A-R, is your opportunity for growth. Fear is that thing that keeps you back. Fear prevents you from growing. When you are frightened, you're fearful, you do not do the things you have to do. When you're fearful because of this or because of that and you stay hidden, you're keeping yourself from being the magnificent you. You're preventing yourself from being that awesome human being and to get where you want to go. You won't grow. Things don't open. If when we planted a seed in the ground, like this year I put bean seeds in the ground. If when I spread a little bit of dirt over them, I gave them a little water, they didn't want, they were frightened and they said, I'm not coming out. Look at what she's doing to me. I'm not doing this. They didn't. That seed pushed through, and the seed is really this small. It pushed through, and I showed you the amount of beans I got from those plants, right? But the fear of me dropping some black dirt on that bean, drowning it in water, a little bit of this and a little bit of that did not stop it. It had no control. And many times in our life, we have no control. And when we have no control, that is not the time we should be afraid. We have to ask ourselves, and this is where I bring in the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept what I cannot and what I can. What I can control and what I cannot control. That's the prayer. So if you can control to conquer fear by standing on top of fear and saying, I am going to go over you and I will conquer you. Many of us have fear of a lot of things. Many of us, there are things we're afraid of as we go through life. We're afraid to speak up. We're afraid to say to somebody, stop it. We're afraid to say to somebody, you're hurting me. You're afraid to say to somebody, do not talk to me this way. Many times we have fear and silly things. Fear that if we just stand up for a moment and just tell that person, do not do this to me, they would stop. In many cases, they would just stop. But no, we do not do that. We are frightened, we are upset, we tell somebody else, and we let it continue. Sometimes it's not even a human being. I had no idea about technology that way. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of not doing it well. I was afraid of, because I don't know, I was afraid that I would look stupid. I had these fears about technology that were just so overwhelming. But little by little, I took steps towards it. And today I am doing 3 lives a day. 3. I could barely do 1. I remember when I started this journey, how frightening it seems. It was Amanda pushing me to do this. And I did it, and it was a mess. There she is holding a sign. We didn't know what we were doing. If you look at my older videos, you would run like you think wild dogs are after you. I want to run away from them, but I can't, because that's my history. That's where I started. So what I know, where I was afraid then, a couple years ago, that gave me growth. Every time we did one, I got better. It didn't show at first. It took months and years to get better. But because I was so frightened and I stepped into the fear, I got growth. I grew from it. So there are things you want to attempt and you're frightened. You're afraid to try it. Do not let that get to you. You who is here today, and you who need that message today, let me know. Put it in the comments, because I'll tell you why I'm asking this. I am a woman on a mission to influence one human being at a time. So there, amongst all who sees this, there is one person that I know for sure, and I believe this. Remember, believe? I believe there is one person that needs to hear that fear is your opportunity to grow. There is one of you out there, one of you here or out there later that will hear this and will realize, yes, I needed this for me. That's my vitamin for the soul. That is what the morning blessing is your vitamin, your nectar, the thing that will raise you up, and believe it. Are you hearing that fear is your opportunity for growth? Do not let fear of trying something. There is a position at work and you want it and you know you can do it, but you have been fearful. And you are creating the ideas why you will not get that position. You are doing that. Nobody has done it yet. But you are saying, oh, I'm so afraid. I don't think they will. I don't know if I'm qualified. But that is fear. The only thing that you have to remember is that if you don't take a chance, you will not do this. If you don't hit the puck, we play hockey here. The goal is the puck you never hit, is the chance you never took. The success is the opportunity you said that was too good for you, too big for you. Look at me. Look at me, Tessa-Marie. My hair is so curly. My ears are too big. Tell that to Barack Obama. He wasn't afraid. Are you afraid? Fear is your opportunity for growth. Who are you? Say who you are and say, yes, I need that message today. I needed that morning blessing. I wanted to hear it. That's why you come here. You don't come here because you have nothing to do. You come here because you know somewhere along the line, something is going to trigger you and you are going to be successful. Fear is your opportunity for growth. What you are afraid of is where your success lies. That's why fear comes in your face. Fear does not want you to win. Fear is an unseen critic, a critic that is created in your mind. That is who fear is. And fear is telling you, you are not good enough. You cannot make it. Why are you bothering to try? Nobody will see you. You are too old. You are too fat. You are too... But that is fear speaking. You want that opportunity. You want that position. You want that career. Go for it. If I had to let fear control me, I would not be standing here today, because I could tell you a list of reasons why I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here today because I am older than all of you. I shouldn't be here today because what? I don't know. But I'm sure there's a reason that will say, Tessa-Marie, aren't you exhausted? They will tell me that I am not tired. I am not exhausted. I arrange my life in such a way that I enjoy it. I go to bed earlier so that I'm not exhausted. I wake up earlier so that I'm charged and ready to go 3 hours later and stand up there and tell you what is the best for you. The morning blessing is your tonic. The morning blessing is also my tonic. And as I said to you, I was afraid. I was so afraid I would not show up. I was so afraid I would be so scared, shaking like a leaf. This problem this morning with Instagram, days ago, I would have run for the hills and be so shameful. But when I saw that Brandon Bouchard had the same situation happening to him, I said, hell no. If he, with millions of people and a team of horses that you never saw behind him, can have Instagram controlling him for a moment, who am I to stand up and say, Instagram, So I stood up and I said, Instagram, you're not coming on the phone, you'll come on the iPad. And we would have gone like this until Instagram's release and say, okay, fine, I'm going to let you do your thing. And that's what Instagram did. So fear is your opportunity to grow. What you're afraid of succeeding at, of trying or doing, that is the thing you have to do. That is the thing you have to do. You cannot be looking at the shore and trying and sitting in the boat and saying, what is going on the shore? Who is going to give you the answer? If you want to know what is happening on the shore, get to the shore. Paddle your boat through the rough seas and get to the shore. Because you don't know, I don't know what is happening. I'm afraid. Look at the waves, look at this, look at that. We are all afraid. But if we do not continue to go into it, we are not going to get it done. Fear is where you will become who you choose to be. Fear is what will help you, push you to become who you wish to be. It's by taking the fearful situation, opportunity, the fearful conversation, the hard conversation that you're afraid of having, and going forward with it, that will bring you to your ladder of success. And that doesn't mean there is not another ladder to climb either. And when you look at saying, holy no, I cannot do this. Yes, you can. I was afraid of height. I couldn't stand to be on a 15th floor balcony in Toronto. My cousin lived in an apartment building 15 floors up. I was pregnant with Jillian and I walked up 15 flights. I would not go into an elevator. I could not stand on the balcony. My feet and my hands were tingly. And then I realized that was nonsense. So when I went to Australia, I decided I am doing the bridge. So I climbed the bridge in Australia. And that was the hardest thing at the time. So I did the bridge in Australia. I went and I did, I did the diving. I went in Jamaica and I did something there. And then I came to Toronto and I did the walk around at the top of the CN Tower. I brought my brother with me. And when he came out and he saw where we were at the height and we had to go around the CN Tower with your toes hanging over the city of Toronto like this, he said, Holy S, what did I sign up for? And he looked at me and said, you are crazy. I said, I have to conquer fear. And then I went to Las Vegas and I did the Insanity ride. That was wild. And I conquered fear. And now I can do anything. Do not have any of that. I couldn't go past a 4th floor balcony before. And now I climb mountains. I went to Peru and I did Machu Picchu. I was the one person up there that didn't even get sick. No altitude sickness. But this was the fear I had. So, and I grew and I was able to see. I went to Geneva. I went on Mont Blanc and I climbed the Alps. We were on the Alps. We went across the Alps from Geneva to France, from France to Italy. And I couldn't can you imagine, how high? So I am so glad to tell you, fear is your opportunity for growth. If I hadn't tried that, I wouldn't have been able to see the sights of Mont Blanc still covered in snow. And I couldn't see that if I didn't take a chance. I wouldn't know that the Opera House in Australia looks like this when you're up there. And hanging over the city in which I live was awesome. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. What you're afraid of, you must push for it. Because I had a fear of height. I had a fear of electronics. And I wanted them. I got them, and I just kept going at them. I would before give up. I would perhaps decide not to. But no, I decided if I want to survive in this world, this new world, I need to conquer electronics. And man, it was not easy. It was not easy at all. Other people had to assist me. Yuko had to help me. This one, I would call my nephew in England and say, what should I do? My son, I would just keep going. So do not let fear stop you from becoming the person you want to be. Do not do that at all. Do not let fear take you and do anything to you that you are not supposed to do. Fear will stop you. Fear will make you feel bad. So if this message today is for you, make sure you use it. Fear is your opportunity for you to grow. And if that message for you today is that you need to do that, then do it. Because nobody is going to do it for you. Do not let fear take you down. And this is my message for you today. I do not want to keep you guys because we had a situation where Mr. Instagram was doing its thing. So it's done. But my message for you today is to make sure you conquer fear. Make sure you tell fear, I want to grow. Fear is your opportunity to grow. If I was not taking charge of my life when I couldn't go beyond 4 flights of an apartment building, and then I went to Australia to climb the bridge purposely. I went to Peru just to be at the top. I went to Geneva so I could do the Alps. I did it because I had to. I decided to stand up on top of the CN Tower and walk around the tower. And it was exhilarating. And in Vegas, I did the insanity ride because I was afraid of heights. Nothing will stop me now. And therefore, if you have something you are afraid of, and if you are here today, it's because you needed this. I'm here to only influence you, you that needed that message. So if fear is something that's holding you back from being the magnificent you, tell fear to take a step back. Tell fear, I am coming for you. Crush it. Crush it. Because if you do not crush it, it will crush you. I was afraid of this, as I told you, this Instagram and all this technology thing. Of course I was. And it was hard. It was so hard. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing. I'm doing 3 lives a day. The first one, I was shaking like a leaf a few years ago when Amanda was holding the sign and we were both like 2 clowns. But we pushed through and we got it. So what I want to say to you today is if you are the person who is standing there, you need that career change. You need to apply for this job. And you need to go do this. And you're saying, I am too short, I am too fat, I'm too big, I'm too stupid, I don't have it. And don't let that stop you. Stand up and do it. And if you're afraid of another human being that's putting pressure on you, tell them to get off. If somebody's saying something to you you don't like to hear, ask them to stop. And if they don't stop, be bold enough to turn yourself and move away and say, no more. I am not doing this anymore. No more. I know it's difficult for adults to use the word no, because as children, it was beaten out of us every time, don't tell me no. Well, you know what? Pick up your mantle of no, and when it's not comfortable, say, no, I do not want any part of this. And walk away. Do not let fear keep you back. Go through fear. It's your opportunity to grow. When you walk away from a situation you're afraid of, that somebody is doing something to you, and you push through it, you'll feel good. You'll feel really, really good. So this is my message for you today. Oh, hello. that fear is your opportunity to grow. Do not let it keep you back. Take it by the shoulder, shake it out of the way, and say, get out of the way. I need this. So I would just like to say to all of you, thank you for coming.